Welcome to this explainer. Let's get right into it, because today we are tearing down exactly why so many businesses are accidentally hemorrhaging cash on automation tools. And more importantly, we're going to show you how to build a highly scalable tech stack for 2026. If you've just been relying on the exact same workflows for the past few years, well, it's time to wake up, because the landscape has completely shifted.
Let's start with a number that should instantly grab your attention: 23,500 rupees. That is the monthly savings for an Indian business simply by switching from Zapier to n8n at a volume of about 50,000 tasks a month. I mean, we are literally talking about massive amounts of capital just leaking out of businesses purely because they're stuck using the wrong tools for their scale. And this idea hits right at the core of the problem. It comes straight from a Reddit user who had to learn a very painful $40,000 a year lesson. They realized that basic tools, they just connect point A to point B. It's not automation, it's just glue. Real automation, the kind that actually drives a business forward in 2026, requires a system that makes intelligent decisions.
So, to navigate all this, we're going to break things down into 6 quick sections: the 2026 automation trap, Zapier versus Make, the n8n scaling revolution, code words and AI agents, the real cost at scale, and finally, your 2026 decision framework.
All right, Section 1. The 2026 automation trap and the illusion of simplicity.
Now, we all love a super simple drag-and-drop interface, right? But relying totally on basic, rigid trigger and action platforms is essentially like bowling with the bumpers up. Sure, it's great to get you started, but as your business advances, traditional linear tools force AI into this super rigid box. They just do A, then B. If a web layout changes even slightly, the whole thing breaks, and you end up with what developers call spaghetti logic. But looping tools, these are actually required if you want to automate AI thinking, because AI naturally wants to reason, backtrack, iterate, and intelligently adapt to errors.
Moving right along to Section 2, Zapier versus Make, and breaking the cost ceiling.
So the crucial point here is comparing the true heavyweights. Zapier is the absolute giant in the space with its 8,000 integrations. And yeah, it totally wins on pure beginner simplicity. But here's the catch. It charges per task and restricts advanced conditional paths to its really expensive paid tiers. Literally every single step in a workflow eats up your allowance. Make, on the other hand, charges per operation and offers far larger data allowances. Its visual canvas gives you free advanced routing, multi-level logic, and really robust error handling on every single module. And the kicker? It does all of this at roughly 1/8 the cost of Zapier for comparable volumes.
Section 3. The n8n scaling revolution and owning your infrastructure. The absolute game changer here is self-hosting. That means running the software on your own private servers or cloud infrastructure. This is absolutely vital, especially for Indian startups, because it guarantees strict compliance with the DPDP Act for data localization and consent management. Your data never flows through third-party servers in the US or the EU. Plus, you avoid those nasty per-task SaaS fees entirely. You literally only pay for your server space.
Plus, n8n has seriously evolved. With native WhatsApp capabilities, native LangChain integration, and direct JavaScript injection, it handles the absolute heavy lifting for multi-agent orchestration. You can build these highly complex AI pipelines without massive per-task penalties, punishing you every single time a script executes. But wait, what happens when even those visual nodes become a tangled, unmanageable mess of spaghetti logic?
That brings us to Section 4, code words and AI agents, automating the thinking.
This side-by-side data from GrowviaXAI reveals a complete paradigm shift. Okay, building a LinkedIn AI sales agent took Make 45 minutes, and honestly, it just produced a robotic-sounding template. n8n took 30 minutes, but required high-level JavaScript skills. Code words, it built a strategic, highly human-like sales agent in just 5 minutes using natural language. That is wild. It completely bypasses the node-based competition by writing its own backend code, so it delivers highly strategic outputs that actually reference context rather than just filling in blanks on a template.
Section 5. The real cost at scale and the 100K operation benchmark.
You guys, the financial differences at this scale are just staggering. When your business hits 100,000 operations per month, Zapier balloons up to around $850, if not way more, depending on your overages. Make, it stays incredibly balanced at about $185. But a self-hosted n8n server, it sits way down at just $55. It practically costs nothing but your DevOps time to maintain the server.
Which leads us to Section 6, your 2026 decision framework, picking your path.
With all this data staring us in the face, how do you actually choose your tech stack without wasting a year of runway? Well, use this rapid-fire playbook.
First, honestly assess your team's technical skills. Like, can they write code? Can they follow visual logic? Or do they need pure drag and drop? Second, model your monthly operations at twice your current volume just to see exactly where those costs are going to spike. Third, factor in your data compliance. Are regulations like the DPDP Act a factor for you? And finally, strictly define your budget.
This breakdown perfectly distills the advice from across all of our sources today. Basically, use Zapier for basic glue when you are under 5,000 operations with non-technical staff. Graduate to Make for 5,000 to 50,000 operations when you need some serious visual power. Deploy n8n for massive scale, over 50,000 operations, when you have developers in strict compliance needs. And finally, switch to custom code when you exceed 500,000 operations or when the automation itself is your actual competitive product.
I want to leave you with a provocative question to really consider regarding your own workflows. Are you solving a problem people will actually pay for, or are you just paying for broken processes? I highly encourage you to audit your tech stack today, because the reality of 2026 is that efficient automation should drive your business, give you margin, and scale your impact. Absolutely not drain your budget on broken linear processes.